Hello and welcome to Hobby Hole. Welcome to my hobby hole. And I want to share everything I made in 2023 and everything I worked on really hard but didn't finish in 2023. This is mostly chronological and I'm going to include all of the information in the info box below with all the links, Ravelry links, etc. And let's just get started with the first thing that I made in January 2023. So first we have what I call my Sick Sad World sweater. Just the colors and the eye, of course, reminded me of the TV show on the TV show Daria. And that's what I call it whenever, obviously when I wear this out, people say, did you make that? Or something like that. And then I get to say, yes. I call this my Sick Sad World sweater. I love when people ask me if I make something. So, okay, this is a sweater that I purchased at Goodwill, and I think the original intention was to unravel the sweater and get the yarn. This is 100% wool. I bought it, it had a few holes in various places, and that led me to think of ways to cover them up creatively. So around the same time, I was browsing on Etsy and someone had a pattern for this crochet design, both of these. So I'll link to that below. That's what I used. I then just made a ton of these and a bunch of stash and scrap yarn out of everything that I had. And then I picked the best ones to go on here. And this is what we got. So some of these are covering up holes, and first what I did was go in with a similar colored yarn to actually patch the hole up first, and then I covered those up with these crochet evil eye granny squares is what they're called. These are super easy to make, and I just got very into it. I don't know if you ever stress craft, but that's what I was doing. I was just making a ton of these, way more than I definitely needed for this project, but I couldn't stop. And I also really love to play with different colors and see what goes well together, different color combinations, surprising color combinations. That is my shit. So I picked sort of my favorite ones, the ones I think would go together, and that was just these three, I suppose. I kind of felt like there were more, but no, it's just three. Yes, and I will show a little later. I did do something with all the extra ones that I made later in the year, so we will get to that.
I forgot. So I took some spares and sewed them together and then just did a long crochet chain to attach them all for a wall hanging.
So I'm just gonna try this on my actual body just so you can see how it looks there. Yeah, so here it is on. I pretty much just wear, sweatpants and t-shirts and sweatshirts, to be honest. So this, could have gone either way. I could have actually started wearing it, or I could have found this itchy or whatever. I wear this all the time in the winter when I would need to go out and do something where maybe I don't want to wear the ratty sweatshirt that I've had on all week. This feels the same to me, it's the same sort of fit. It's not, tight. It's very, very warm. And as I mentioned before, people are always asking me about it, which I enjoy. But yeah, I really like it. Very warm. This is sort of a neutral color, and these are just all multicolored, so it's a good, can kind of go anywhere. And this really helped me kind of clarify the crafting that I wanted to make, because I feel like can be a big disconnect between the things that I enjoy producing and then the things that I really want to wear. And this is something that I wear and I had fun doing. Okay, so my second item is not pictured because I gave it as a gift. I kind of got back into knitting this year, and for whatever reason, well, I know the reason. In December or January, I saw Superglo yarns, and I've always wanted these sort of speckled hand-dyed yarns before, but I just really couldn't afford them and whatever. This year I did the subscription where I got a skein of yarn every month, and they were tarot card themed, which is just very much up my alley, and I went for that. So I have an example, and you'll see a lot of this Superglo yarn. It's fingering, it's superwash. I really don't know why I picked that, because it's not even a sock yarn, it doesn't have any nylon in it, so I couldn't make socks out of it. So I was just kind of like, I don't know, I was looking for projects that would be one skein that I wanted, that would fulfill all my requirements. I did a little shawl called Spring Thing. Put the link down there in the description box below. And this was fun. I was able to use, it's a project that you can just use up it's a project where you can use every scrap of yarn that you have, down to the last bit. And I did enjoy that. It also had little tassels on it, which were really cute. I did it in like a purple color. I can't remember the name of the yarn, like the card that it was based on, but I'll find out. And then I did these yellow sort of tassels around. Very fun. I did enjoy it. I think I looked up like cool ways to wear a shawl or something, and people were suggesting doing it like a bandana style, where you put like the triangle in front and then wrap the tails around. Maybe a little less grandma than if you did it the other way, where you put the pointed triangle in the back. Anyway, so I did that for a while. I did like it. Then Mother's Day came around, and then I gave it to my grandma because I didn't like it. I mean, I really wasn't using it that much, and she just loves everything that I give her that I made. So she really enjoyed that. So now we are really going to see the Superglo, and I felt like I needed to use up these skeins of yarn that were coming in. So I started making these little, they're not granny squares, they are different crochet patterns, but they're little squares. Many, many, many. This whole bag is full of them, in fact. I made I made all of these from this book, which is called Crochet Every Which Way. Crochet Every Way, Stitch Dictionary. I love this book. It's just different crochet patterns, but she also includes how to increase and decrease for all these patterns. Yeah, so I kind of just like went through this. I marked down the ones that I enjoyed, and then I was able to sort of take notes, which I wrote just directly into the book. Easy to remember was a note I made. Some other ones were like, this is too fussy. I didn't like doing this. Some of them were like, wow, this is incredibly fast. So that was nice. Now the original project I had planned for all of this was, I was inspired by my 6 Sad World sweater, and I thought, okay, yes, I just need more things that kind of feel like a sweatshirt to me, but are like a little bit better than a sweatshirt, so that I could wear it out to, I don't know, dinner or something. So I thought, I'll do a bunch of these little samples and assemble them, okay, into a sweatshirt sort of format. The thing about I love to do crochet. It feels very fast to me, and it is less, it's not as fussy as knitting, where you have to maintain stitch count, as rigidly. In crochet, it's just a little bit loosier goosier. You can't really drop a stitch in crochet and like have it all get screwed up. Okay, blah, 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 blah. The point I'm trying to make here is that the finished product of crochet is not my favorite in terms of like trying to make something wintry warm. And I don't like kind of how holey crochet can be. I don't like, just for me, I honestly watch and see other people wear this and it doesn't bother me, but on me, I don't like it. When you see like crochet and then you have like, I don't like how you can see like a t-shirt and I don't know. And I was also just thinking that it wouldn't be warm enough. So then I was like, okay, I'll line it. I know how to sew. I have fabric. That's what I'll do. Blah, 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 blah. This project just started to get away from me where I really wasn't feeling it anymore. The colors were not all going together. Like I kind of just assumed everything that I would get through this subscription would like go together, which was just an assumption I made on my part that was incorrect. So yeah, it really was not, I didn't have the energy to put towards the project anymore at a certain point because I just didn't like the way it was turning out. So I'm gonna attempt to do something with those, which I have, I don't know, I'll count exactly how many I have. I was like, maybe I'll make a dog sweater. Make a sweater for my dog. Well, I've never made a dog sweater. I don't know what that is. But I was like, I'll just start. So I just kind of started assembling these and then trying them on my dog as I went, which he loved. You know, and then I just got to the part where I'm like, oh, and now his little paws are coming through, and like, how am I supposed to deal with that? So, this project is on hold right now. Maybe I'll do something with it, maybe I won't. I don't know, it's just not speaking to me anymore. And I do love all the yarn separately. But all together like this, I just wasn't digging it. So there's project fail number 1. Not fail, it's not fail. Because I learned, I did all these swatches and took a bunch of notes on them. So it's not a fail, it's not a fail. Okay, so this is some more of that superglo yarn. This card was the sun and very bright. So I thought I could just wing a little bralette for myself. This is just like a 2x2 rib, and then I don't even remember this was some sort of stitchy, it's almost like an eye of partridge inset, and I was really just winging this. This did not work because it didn't fit me. I am bigger than my dress form, especially in the bust. So I did do a swatch for this. However, when it's all said and done, if I put this over my body, this part, it's just not covering a lot. So this was a project that my boyfriend was like, well, I think it's perfect, but it's not even really reasonable to wear around the house. So I will unwrap, and it's really not done that well. I kind of was just off my crochet or my knitting stuff for quite a while. And this is kind of my first project back into it. One of the first. Anyway, I'll just need to rip it out and I'll use the yarn for something else, and that's that. I do like the 2x2 rib, and I did this on a I think I did this on a size 2 or 3 needle, which, you know, I do like the fabric that came out. Like the 2x2 rib is like, it's really nice. But the issue is that like I only have one skein of each of these colors, so blah, blah, blah. So many things to think about, which is why I love crafting. Okay, so after that, I was like, maybe I'll look for a pattern for a bralette and try that instead of trying to do my own thing. So this is the Jessie made Summer Secret Crop Top. It's a free pattern that's very popular, and for good reason. It was just a perfectly written pattern. I just followed it. I didn't try to take any shortcuts. I didn't try to do my own thing. I just said, just do this, Merritt. I went to a convention in Chicago over the summer. So I took the train, I'm in St. Louis. So I took the train up there, and then I was just like sitting in this conference most of the day. So this is what I worked on during the train ride and during deliberations. It was great. It worked up so fast. So the previous bralette that I tried to make was, yeah, like a size 2 or 3. This I think is made on a size 5, if not larger. I will check. I enjoyed the fabric. I really, really liked sort of the finishing up here. I think it's a double knit finish or something where and like how it goes into the strap. That was something that was new to me and I just really enjoyed it. So I do wear this. I'm not going to try it on because it is more of a bra for me. And I wear it around the house, I wear it on my clothes, and it's just very, you know, it's not bulky and it works. And yeah, the yarn is really beautiful. I like it. So I really liked that one. So I decided I would make a second one, but I wanted the second one to be not an undergarment. I wanted it to be an actual top. So this was my bigger Jessie made crop top. So what I did here instead was I did one strand of superglo, and I also held a strand of silk lace weight that I had from Knit Picks, just in my stash that I was trying to get rid of. So I did that. I started with just a provisional cast on because I was like, I think I didn't really know what I want to do. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll go back and add some more. So I just did a provisional cast on. I worked up here as normal, and then in the back, I did more of a racer back. So the original pattern is just straight back here. I did like a double decrease here and then like a single decrease. I think I ripped it back a couple times. Yeah, was just improvising, which is not always the greatest, because then I went back down here. I said, yeah, I do want to add some length. And then I was like, maybe I'll add some shaping, and like did some decreases, but it really does not fit exactly how I would like it to. It's not terrible, but it's also like not exactly what I wanted. I was thinking, oh, this is gonna stretch out, and so these decreases I made are gonna end up hitting me at my waist. They're still a little too low. The armhole is a little like tight. It's just not perfect. And that's what I get for trying to just make up my own fitting things on the fly. This is just what happens. So I do wear this, and I actually like to wear this when I'm doing yoga. It's, you know, got that nice, you know, wool's really good. Even the superwash wool it's just a good fabric. And the silk gives it kind of reminds me of like that book with the fish, the sparkly scales or something. This is what it reminds me of, though I can't remember the name of it. So I imagine I'll be making more of these, but better. It's just a very good pattern. Yeah. Okay, so this is the 1898 hat, and I've made this before. It's a nice little, I think it's a free pattern, I'm sure it is. And I made this out of Valley Yarns Peru, which is a blend. It's mostly alpaca and then some nylon and wool in here. It's a chainette yarn, like that little like sort of I-cord style yarn. I do really like this. It makes a nice fabric. It's very soft. It is a little itchy on my forehead, but it's okay. And I did, you know, my decreases are a little pointy. It's a little elf hatty. I really don't care. I usually have my hair up in a big bun anyway, where I'm like, I don't care. So I do really love this pattern. As I said, I've made it before. You start flat. I hate joining in the round. I mess it up every time. I've literally been knitting for like 20 years and I still mess it up. So I like this, that you start working these ear flaps first, and you actually work them flat, and then you fold it over and then join and then start working in the round. So this is like a double layer, and it's got these little, and it's just great. So someone like me who sometimes has tall hair, sometimes hats will they start to pull up. So these with these nice little ear flaps, it's very warm and I like it. And it's a cute color, and yeah, A+ project. Okay, so this was a fun one. I purchased a few patterns from Folkwear Patterns, and I bought this Moroccan Burmoose pattern because there's a cropped view, and I just thought it would look really cool if I don't know, I just had a little vision in my mind of using the cropped version. I had that pattern, I didn't do anything with it for a long time. And then I wanted to make a big, cloak. And I had a costume party, a Halloween party to go to. So I was like, let's do it. So I made this huge full-length Moroccan Burmoose, and it uses a ton of fabric. It's just it's like making a big circle skirt, but for your whole body. So I will include a photo of me laying it out on my living room floor. I should have included a banana for scale or something. You can't even really tell, but if you see the cutting board up in the corner, that's a 36 inches, and that's only covering half. It was so much fabric. Okay. I literally, I'm not kidding, spent the most amount of time trying to make this little tassel. Now I've made plenty of tassels before. This gold thread is not, it doesn't like to be tied down. So, I'd make the fold and then I'd be trying to tie it and just be, it would want to unfold. So this is just such a, Anyway, long story short, none of this is finished. That's not even the tassel's fault. I probably wouldn't have finished this properly anyway. But I have trouble sometimes following directions and the finishing directions of turn this and then clip it a quarter of an inch in and I just, no. And then obviously, I didn't hem this. Why would I hem this? This is a mile of fabric, circle, I would have to do it by hand. It just wasn't gonna happen. So I did think ahead and put the selvages as the center here, but it's cute. I'll use it again for something, I'm sure. And oh, and the fabric I made this. So I used to, I do still have a little Etsy store, but I used to have a more robust online fabric store with my mom. This is an organic twill that we purchased at that time, and I just have a lot of it. So I was able to do this huge project, no problem. Yeah. And this is another thing that it's I'm gonna go to this party and I hope people, I was Little Red Riding Hood, of course. It was one of those things where it's oh, is this a cloak? No, this is a burmoose. Thank you. Yeah. So it's quite warm. I don't know if you know any folkwear patterns. They do include a lot of information about these are traditional patterns, either historical or just not Western European styles of clothing, and they include a lot of information in there. So I learned that one of the traditional ways this is worn is a little bit to the side, which I thought was pretty cool. So fun project. Next we have just a scarf. I have a ton of yarn just over, a big stash, right? I'm always trying to get rid of it. And sometimes I just want to work on something. So I had all this fingering, Cascade Yarns, Heritage Silk Paints. I've literally had this since August of 2013. And I got this book, Sequence Knitting, for Christmas. So this is literally just all the different patterns that can emerge if you are doing simple repeats of knits and purls. I know you don't think that you could get, you know, 2, 3, almost 400 pages just based on that idea alone, but you can, and it's very interesting. So I started with that. I started trying to use one of the sequences in there, but I can't even count to like 4 reliably. I just kept getting lost. And then with the knits and purls, it can sometimes be hard to read the knitting. So after a little bit of trying, I stopped trying and I said, I'll just do a garter scarf. Now, I just don't really like it. I don't really know who this would be for. Me, maybe, except I don't know. I mean, it's fine, but like I never really truly finished it. I still have to weave the ends in, but whatever. It was a project that I could work on and my hands felt hungry. Okay, so also trying to use up my stash. I was making like baskets and little rugs, just with a bunch of yarn that I just, you know, it's just been lingering around, and there's either not enough of it to make anything substantial, or I don't like it. You know, it's acrylic or whatever. You know, nothing against acrylic, whatever. So those were fun. It was another thing, just like, I just wanted something to kind of work on. I also made a little curtain, a little privacy curtain for my brother's cats for their litter box. I have no idea if he still even uses it. It just took me an afternoon. It was another just like little fun sewing project to do. Make sure that my machines are all still working. And yes, not pictured. So closer to the end of the year, I wanted to make something for my boyfriend. I picked Papa's Loafers pattern, and I made a couple different versions of them, but they just weren't fitting like I wanted them to. These, and I wanted them to be able to be washed as well. So I made these. I used that Peru that I made with the 1898 hat. And when I washed it, no surprise, it shrank. So these would fit me, but I don't wear them. So then I did these. These to me were too big. My boyfriend does have enormous pancake feet, but these were even bigger than what he needed. So no shade to the pattern. The pattern was really great, actually, and I will use it again. But after all that, I got the 52 weeks of socks or whatever book from the library, and they had a pattern that used worsted weight yarn, I believe. So I kind of followed that. It was Isabella Kramer's wavy lace, maybe? Casual lace, except I just didn't do the lace. And I used Aran weight yarn that I purchased. It's just acrylic, and I purchased it originally to try to use in my rug tufting gun. Whatever, that's a whole other thing. So here they are. They fit. He likes them, and you know, they are just like around the house socks. They're not like he can't wear shoes over them or anything, but I'm just happy that I finally was able to produce a finished project for him, because I kept being like, oh, let me try this little slipper on, let me try it on, you know, and then like, well, that didn't work. And then, so it's just good to actually have something at the end. It's very soft, and the orange is Knit Picks, I believe, like a Knit Picks Tweedy. that I got from my mom. She just gave me some old knitting stuff. So, good project, good pattern, even though I didn't really follow the pattern. Okay, now we're getting into some things, another couple of projects that I really did not get over the finish line. So I had this really pretty pink that came in, but superglo. And I think I saw a video, I think it was Steph Time, where she'd made like a crochet flower vest. I can't seem to find it right now, but I believe that that's what inspired me. And then I also saw like the Church Mouse Patterns flower scarf or something. I actually purchased that. This is not even the flower pattern from the scarf. So I had that idea, then I started to get scared that I was gonna run out of yarn. Started second guessing myself, I started overcomplicating things. I'm planning on doing an entire video about having ADHD and trying to craft, by the way. And I'm resisting talking about all of that right now. But needless to say, this project kind of puttered out once I started asking myself too many questions. Pretty much. What I do have is I used up almost the entire skein of yarn and made like a ton of these. And the centers, the white is like a linen, I think it's called Lindy chain or something from Knit Picks, which I really like this yarn. I do want to make like a full project with it. And then the yellow is, I think, just some stash, like sock yarn. So I did a mix, just because. And now I'm just kind of slowly piecing together 3 at a time. I still don't know if I have enough to make anything out of this, but like we'll get there, I think. I work from home, and I don't have a ton of like, I don't know, meetings where I'm sitting there, I can just be knitting all day or anything like that. But like, there'll be maybe a couple minutes at the beginning of a meeting, or you're waiting for people to join or whatever. That's enough time to like sew a couple of these together. So that's kind of when I do that. So it's slow going, but I'll make something out of these. I figure at the very least I could do some sort of wall hanging. The last thing I worked on in 2023 that I did not finish, and I have not pulled this out since then. So this is a good amount of Jessie Maed's outline tee complete. The yarn that I used here is a Classic Elite Yarns. Mountaintop by Classic Elite Yarns. Classic Elite, I think, entirely is out of business. This is called Veil, 70% baby alpaca, 30% bamboo viscose. It's sort of a light fingering weight in this very neutral, we'll say, color. I bought this on sale, like just because I saw there was a whole lot of it at a yarn store on sale, so I bought it. But I don't wear this color. This is like cute and everything, but it's just, it's not my color. So a long time I just didn't use this yarn. I tried to use it for various things and it just was not working for me. I do like the fabric that comes up, but it is such a fine yarn that I knew whatever I make would take me a long time. So I decided to just push myself to like actually do something with this. And I decided on the outline tee. So this is a pattern where you work up the fabric, and then once you're at the top here, you drop stitches, and that creates a nice outline effect around, you know, different lines on the garment. So of course my greatest fear was that I would drop the stitch and that it, you know, wouldn't work out for some reason. Because, all right, so as you're making it at the bottom, when you're starting, it's bottom up. When you're starting, you like, you sort of bind off the stitch at the very bottom, and then you need to make sure that that is the same stitch you're going to drop at the top. So that when you drop it, it unravels all the way down. It just unravels to that part that you bound, that stitch that you bound off, and not all the way to the bottom of the garment, because the bottom is like a little rib part. I did the back, I dropped the stitches. Perfect. I was like, oh my God, thank God. I did one front and dropped the stitches, and it was going good, and then it like ran into a decrease. So then I had 2 stitches being dropped down here. I was so upset. I like literally was sitting at my dining room table and just like put my head down. Around Christmas, we were watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I've never actually seen all of. And I literally, this is what I did during all of those movies, you know, I don't even know, 7-8 hours of it. Not that we didn't watch like the extended cuts or anything, but yeah, so I said, I need to put this away. Part of me just wants to go back, pick up the stitches in the back that dropped, just pick those up on both sides. Yeah, I think it's just 2 back there. Obviously do the same to the front, and then work the other side, and then just like not have the dropped stitches. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll unravel the whole thing and just like donate the yarn. At this point, I've just tried so many things with it, and I don't love the color whenever I'm making something, I'm like, I can dye this at the end of it. It's just, at a certain point, you just have to throw in the towel and say, it's not working out, and bye-bye. So we'll see what I do with that. That's all my projects. Most of them I'm very happy with. I think I'm doing a better job at kind of determining what I really want to wear and work on, and also just kind of pushing through hard parts, although not always. Sometimes things are just too hard and it's not fun anymore, and then why bother? The rest of life is really hard. I don't need to make crafting hard too. So this year, I started out strong. I have a few projects going. I like them all. Thanks for watching. Bye!